Hey everyone, and welcome back to I May Destroy You by The Verdicts, and I'm your host Nicole.
I'm Gary.
And today we're talking about the hit HBO series I May Destroy You, Season 1, Episode 7, entitled Happy Animals. Gary, what did you think of the episode?
This was a very good episode. I'm just ready to podcast. I have a lot to talk about.
Same here. I absolutely enjoyed it so much. Probably, I know I say this, but it is true. Probably one of my favorites. All right, so let's get to it. We see that they are planning for Terry's birthday, and they're going shopping, and they're excited for her. It sounds like they're gonna have a party. They're going shopping. They're getting everything for her party. They're excited. Everyone's in a good mood, except for Kwame. You can see that he's pretty sad. I don't think his friends can see it because they're, when you're just so happy, you're not like looking for sadness in someone else, and they just
right.
Not saying that they were not being good friends. I just don't think they saw it. It's not something they noticed. They just probably thought he was being quiet.
And someone mentioned it last episode. Mm-hmm. Sometimes you can't tell, or you don't see how people are truly feeling.
Ironically, it was Terry that said that to Kwame about Bella. She was like, you can't always see the pain on people's face. And we probably could see it because we're on the outside looking in. But all the things that she was saying to Kwame last week about Arabella, like, we have to be careful. It's a dark space. She can go down a dark tunnel, da-da-da. It's like all of those things are almost what's going to happen to Kwame, it looks like, almost.
Well, it's been happening.
Yeah, it's definitely been happening. Now, what did you think when Bella's card did not work, like when it declined?
I didn't notice that part on the first watch. I think you had to tell me.
Okay.
Because when she said, yeah, you have to put all it back. I was like, why she had to put the stuff back?
Right. Yeah, come on. Well, who knows? This is in London. Who knows? So I was like, no, if your card declines, first of all, you don't take anything. You just walk out. You leave. You don't even get the F out of there. You're embarrassed. The embarrassment is enough punishment. But you're definitely not going to have to take everything off the conveyor belt and then also put it back on the shelves.
That was funny.
That was funny. And then the girl had no sense of or she just didn't care. And maybe that shows you what celebrities go through. But I was going to say she didn't have no sense of her what's going on. Because here she is at work and she's asking Arabella, take a selfie with me. And this is while Arabella's card is declining.
After.
Oh, yeah, after. So
after
even
her card
worse.
declined.
Even worse.
Probably going to put that on Instagram.
Right. Well, remember, later on, Bella gets a notification on social media, and she looks, and it's the picture of her and the girl, and I don't know, it went on too fast, so I don't know if the girl had, something that said, her card declined, or, people will do anything to embarrass a celebrity. Like that, I feel like some people get a kick out of it. Like, what can I do to embarrass them, or what can I do to...
Well, actually, she played herself.
Yeah, that's true. She should have known what was in her account
before she went in there.
Yeah.
When you start getting low on funds, you check your account.
You check your account before you go in the store.
You check it in the parking lot.
Yes.
You got to check it twice. You
got to check it twice.
You got to check it before you leave the house. Got to check it before you go in.
Lot.
And you might have to check it again before you get to the register.
Right, before you get to the register. You just don't want to get it. The last thing you want is to get embarrassed, and especially if the funds are that tight. You definitely want to check it multiple times. And Bella should know this. And we should have seen her do this as well.
Yeah.
That would have been more realistic, I think. And I thought later on at the party, Terry was going to embarrass her because she was like, we almost had some money funds, but not everything worked out. And I'm like, damn, was she about to throw? But she let it go from there. But I'm like, okay, it almost got slippery slope. Don't disappoint me again, Terry. So.
Well, Bella don't look like she embarrassed easily.
No. I mean, look at all the stuff we've seen her do. She's not embarrassed in the least a bit. I feel, which is no, because I'm just thinking of all the stuff that we've seen her do, and clearly she's not embarrassed about stuff easily. But all right, so she's with her people, her publishing people, her editors, whoever, and she's writing them a very powerful poem, and it's about her rape. And I mean, I thought she did such a good job, not just the poem in itself, but the way she, when she read it, I was like, whoa, she doesn't need Terry. She got herself. She read it really well. It was really meaningful, I thought.
Yes, she did. But you know, when you need that money, you're right about anything.
Right. Right. But
Put all your business out there.
although
But yeah, it was powerful.
although it was powerful, they were like, okay, this is cool, but this is not what we needed. We still need your draft of the work that you're working on.
Yeah, you didn't finish the first job.
Yeah.
We're not about to pay you for a second one.
Yeah. And just some things, that poem, I mean, it was so sad. And I think it made the publishers uncomfortable because she talked a little bit about racism and how racism has an effect on her cases. I mean, luckily, yes, her case so far does seem to be moving in the right direction. But Kwame, on the other hand, his case is dead. It's not even a case anymore. It's not even probably on the police, you know, they don't even have notes probably in the system of something happening. And
yeah, I wonder why he didn't pursue it further.
well, now that he tells Terry, and I believe we'll probably see next week him telling Bella, I think we'll see something come of it. But she talked about racism in her poem, and then she also talked about, like, once again, when she said a few weeks ago, you know, there's kids without iPhones, there's war in Syria and everything like that. She kind of mentioned it here, like, how much, like, she's conflicted of how much to complain about her rape versus there's people that are being stoned to death. There's people that are living in war zones right now. So I know we kind of make that joke, like, you know, first world problems, even though this is technically not even a first world problem. But she's saying, like, yes, I got raped, but aren't other people going through worse things than I? So I really liked it, and it kind of lets you know, don't dismiss anyone. Whether it is sort of a first world problem or whatever, a problem's a problem, whether it's big or small.
This is a personal problem.
And this is definitely, and to me, this is not really because she kept saying a little rape in the mouth. Like it was kind of cringy, but at the same time, and it was like, Bella, what happened to you?
No. I don't mean her rape was a personal problem.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Stop it right there.
No, that's why I was like, okay.
No, I mean her finances. Her finances.
Oh, yes, definitely.
That's a personal problem.
Yeah.
You know, the fact that she doesn't have the money right now because they gave her events.
They gave her a quarter of the event. They gave her a quarter of it to events.
Right.
Yeah.
And remember, she's supposed to be going to get her or find her creative side. Mm-hmm. So she's been taking trips, vacations. You can't do that. Work. Yeah, you can't do that with money that you don't have.
Right.
That money's not yours yet.
Yeah, because technically the 25% that she spent technically isn't hers if she doesn't do the work. I mean, we never know what her contract says. So I think she thinks, I'm not going to assume, but it felt like when she was like, who has the money? And they're like, well, Henny House. She's like, oh, Susie? Okay, I'll go to Susie. And I felt like
I talked to my sister.
Yeah, that's what Gary, that's what it felt like. It felt like she was thinking, yo, I'm going to go down there, have a one-on-one, let her know, like, I need some more money. And not like thinking, this is a professional environment. We're in a contract. And I love how Susie, you know, was professional, but she was like, the thing is, this is a contract. And she let it be known, like, this isn't two friends let's make a deal and shake hands. Like, this was written. That's
the agreement.
Yeah, you agreed to write the book and we agreed to give you this money. Giving you any more? Not gonna happen. So I like Susie. She didn't get to where she was by like listening to sad stories and just saying, sure, we already gave you 25%. Let me go ahead and give you a little bit more.
Right.
You know.
But before we go further, let me repeat what I said. I didn't say the rape was a personal problem.
You said
the
her
finances.
Which that girl that posted the picture that asked for the selfie did actually clown her on social media and said, her car got declined, laughing my ass off.
Yeah, she clowned her.
You know what? I would have went back to that store and got her in trouble. Like, you can't be telling my business.
You want to talk to her boss?
Yeah, talk to her boss. Let me talk. But you know what? It would have been tit for tat because then.
No, you wouldn't have.
I don't know. I might have felt like it.
You'd be too embarrassed to go back.
I would probably be too embarrassed to go back. But like, part of me felt like if she did go back and complain on the girl, then if the girl got fired, she would have been like, I got fired because she snitched on me, and everyone would have been on the girl's side because they would have been like, how did you use your power to get her fired? Do you know what I mean?
My thing is, you know, it's already on social media, but I don't want to bring any more attention to it. I don't want to go to her job, talk to her boss, tell her boss what happened.
Right.
You know, now everybody's in my business.
Yeah.
So all I have to do is just pray now.
But
Pray that
sometimes,
she don't have that many friends.
yeah, pray nobody saw that, or untag
Right.
yourself in the picture. But actually, untagging yourself brings attention to it too. So, but I was thinking of two cases that similar, like sort of similar, that happened. Not similar. One was the other day. I remember I told you the story about the British Vogue editor, black man, who ended up getting someone fired in his job where he felt he was racially discriminated against, and it was a security guard, and that's why I thought of that. People could say like it could be used against him, versus even though he was the victim, he ended up getting someone fired, and they're like, used your power for wrong, blah blah. But I was gonna say there's sometimes goodness that comes out of being embarrassed. That's on the other hand, which is the other story. Do you remember the guy from, was it the Cosby Show a few years back, where that lady tried to put his picture online, like, he working at Whole Foods or something, and then like everyone
Yeah.
rallied up
That sounds familiar.
and start getting him jobs and stuff?
It sounds familiar.
Yeah. So it could have worked two different ways. Like she could have used this embarrassment, but like, well, I'm just a struggling artist, and then they were like, hey,
Yeah, that's cold blooded.
yeah, that's fucked up.
Somebody took his picture and say he works at
And
Whole
put
Food
it on,
now.
yeah. Because first of all, it's disrespectful to be airing his business and telling people, like, obviously he might live close to there if he's working at Whole Foods. He's not driving 20 miles to go to work, more than likely.
It's a job.
But not only that, it's a job that pays
Right.
on time, weekly or bi-weekly. But it's also disrespectful to all the other Whole Food workers. So like now, if I'm a Whole Food worker, I'm like, oh, is this a job worth clowning someone over? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
So, anywho.
true.
So she gets hooked up with Theo. Now, did you expect to see Theo back on the show?
No.
I was surprised too.
Remember, I said she was clowning her.
Yeah, I didn't think she was clowning her. We had disagreed.
Yeah, you're right. They're friends now.
They're friends. Well, because Theo hooked her up with a job. She meets the CEO, and he automatically says, hey, why don't you be kind of a spokesperson? You know, you're an influencer. Just say a few words, and I'll pay you double what I was going to pay you an hour. And she had to work for like 5 minutes at best. You know, what did you think when you first saw her doing the ads and everything like that? Did you think it was some type of exploitation that we later get into, or what did you think?
Yes.
You did.
I knew it from the get-go. And, you know, not too shortly after she did it, they showed a computer screen.
Right. They did show the computer screen showing how much black people spend. Like, and this goes to everything that's currently going on in the world of using our black dollars and everything like that. And we spend a lot. And we need to make sure that our dollar is appreciated and valued and not exploited, in my opinion.
I wonder all these real statistics. 'Cause are you telling me black people buy majority of vegetables?
Yeah, the numbers on her screen, because we had paused it and everything, the numbers on her screen were very alarming, because it was like we buy a lot of vegetables and stuff like that. But I've never seen these statistics as far as like the food group go, but I've heard so many statistics as far as like what black women spend like on beauty care products, hair products, beauty care, all that stuff. Like we spend a lot on that, and that's the only like statistic I usually hear as far as like where the black dollar, like where we spend a lot of money on. But yeah, we spend a lot on vegetables and dairy and cheese. Was our biggest spenders. So at the time, honestly, I didn't see anything wrong with it, because I was like, what? She's about to get double? Like, you could tell she didn't want to at first. And she's like, what? Okay, I'm getting double. Cool. It only took her a few minutes to do it. And influencers, they do that type of stuff all the time. You see them online.
All the time.
You know.
And you know what? I don't know. I still don't think I have a problem with it.
Okay.
I don't know. I don't know if I have a problem with it, even after I know, or even after she said that, you know, they're using you for this, that, that. You know, she's getting paid.
Yeah.
It's a, you know,
it's
you're
a give
paying
and
for my
take.
service.
Yeah, you're paying for the services. Whether you picked me because you think I might help. I mean, isn't that what modeling and stuff is? Like, they get pretty girls to model their clothes.
Right.
Because, hey, you see a pretty girl with the clothes, you think, I'm going to look just like her if I wear those clothes. So it's really no different, you know.
Either you're going to pay me or you're going to pay somebody else.
You're going to pay somebody else. But then it goes back to,
and
you know.
I need the money right now.
Okay, so this is a conversation. Well, maybe we should wait until that part. Well, I'm going to bring it up now just in case I forget. But we'll talk about it a little more. you know how like you see some movies and like I'm not gonna throw any movies out there because I can't think of any right now off the top of my head. Well, I can think of some. There's some movies out there. There's some big popular movies by one particular person who employs a lot of black people. His movies are pretty much all black people, but at the same time, his movies are clowned a lot because people are like, those junks aren't funny, you know. But he makes them. He makes a lot of money off them. He has a studio in Atlanta. You know where I'm getting at. So some people say, why did black people, like, why did they sign up to do that movie? They cooning, they doing this, all for the money. Like, you should have turned down that paycheck. Or even, not even just using that person's movies, when you see like a token, quote unquote, token black person in a movie, and you're like, man, why'd they do that movie?
First of all, I just totally disagree with you and disagree with what people say.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I don't see anything wrong with the movies. They're comedies.
Yeah.
I mean, comedies have been made forever.
That's true.
Since the Three Stooges.
Yeah.
You know, nobody asked them why they played the roles.
Right.
Nobody asked Larry, Curly, and Moe why they did that.
Yeah, why they did some silly stuff. Okay.
I mean, it's a movie.
Or Jim Carrey's movies make the biggest money.
Yeah.
He's just a complete fool. So, all right. So what you're saying is we're getting judged too harshly. It's damn if we do, damn if we don't.
Right.
And at the same time, like, what about the ones that play a token person or whatever?
See, where I thought you were going is, you know, you didn't go there.
Okay.
I thought you were talking about like a what they call blaxploitation, whatever.
Black exploitation.
Yeah. Yeah. I thought you were talking about that when you have the black person like, oh, you better stop it, you jive turkey, you know, stuff like that. Or, you know, just I thought you were talking, you know, where, you know, they have black people putting together a whole bunch of words, you know, that we don't say together.
Okay, well,
and,
in modern day, you're talking about in modern day that still happens.
No, I'm just talking about like just period when it happened.
Okay, I was talking more of like, say you watch an episode of a show and there's like no black people on the show, but then boom, they go to the hospital and there's always like that black nurse. She's usually like overweight, and then you come to the front of the counter and I'm like, I need to see someone, and then instead of the nurse being like compassionate, she's always mean, nasty attitude, Like, I'm talking about those roles.
Like
the angry black woman.
I mean, we're talking about the same type of roles, you know, like the angry black woman. Like, why would you even play that role?
Yes.
Or the role where, you know, you got to be a thug, like, oh, I'll slice you clean, or you had to clean off your neck, turkey, you know, stuff like that. I'm like, yeah, where do they find these people to play these roles? But, yeah.
So your opinion on that is, hey, if they didn't play it, somebody else would have.
No, not that.
Okay. So you're saying we need to stop taking those roles.
Yeah, I'm saying there's some roles that we don't need to take.
Okay.
There's some roles, like I hate when I'm watching like something like, you know, a wholesome movie, you know, everybody in church or whatever, and then, you know, the black friend come over and, oh, it's dangerous where I live. Like, like, how are y'all even friends? Why is it dangerous where he lives?
Right.
And I'm tired of that. I'm tired of them like stereotyping it that way.
Okay. Well, I guess we can go on and on because stereotypes happen like all the time, especially in entertainment and Hollywood stuff. So. And
that's the type of roles I wonder, like, why did you even take that role where you know you had to play the game banger that go to the good school, stuff like that.
Okay.
I mean, it just happens so much. Like, usually in these movies, I don't know. Maybe I just notice it. I notice it more when that happens, because I was about to say that you never see, you know, when you see a cast filled with Caucasians and you had that one black person, you know, to me, it's never that. But then again, it is, because you have Clueless D went to school with them, you know, all of them went to school together.
Yeah.
So maybe I just notice it more when the black guy come to school and, you know, he's on a football scholarship in high school.
Yeah. I notice it a lot when it's maybe like the angry black woman, maybe because I'm a black woman and I'm like, every time it shows and it's like one black woman, I'm like, they're always angry and they're like, it's always like a nurse or something that's supposed to be like show empathy and sympathy, and then they're the ones that are like, just a minute, or hold on, and it's like, why do you, and then we're still doing this in like 2020. It's not like, oh, that stopped in the 90s or 80s. It's still, I mean, I still see it exists.
Right. Remember Pill and Key, or Key and Pill?
Key and Pill.
When he said, hold up. He said, I just don't feel you in this role. And he said, no, man, I'm really from the hood.
Oh yeah. Key and Peele had a special on it because then they got some guy like a British actor that had never been to a hood. Not saying Britons don't have hoods or stuff like that, but obviously he was like a trained actor, never lived that lifestyle, and he was like super over the top with whatever he was doing. Whereas like the real thug was kind of like chill with it, but like that's how he feels that's how thugs act because he's a thug. And we're like, nah, we don't feel it with you. He's like,
we don't feel it with you.
Yeah.
No, but I'm really a gangster.
Right.
No, we don't see it.
We're not feeling it.
Then the other guy just over the top.
Yeah. Or can you sound a little bit more, like a little bit more what? Well, can you sound a little bit more black?
All right, we're way off topic.
I know, we're off topic. People probably stop listening. Okay, next scene we have is Simon and Terry meeting, which jaw-dropping moment that Simon just left on us, which is he called Terry that night, and once again, her advice to him, which is the advice she took last time in Italy, was just leave her. Let her go on. She'll be fine. Leave her.
Yeah. How do you feel about it?
I was very upset. I mean, I've been upset with Terry for a few things, and I know Terry loves Bella. Like, I know she does. And I think she has guilty eating her up, which is why when Simon's like, so I can't be around her, but you can. Like, and Terry's like, well, yeah, because I'm doing all the right things to make her happy, to make her at peace. But goes back to, I think, the second episode, I believe, when Bella was like, this feels like Italy all over again, and Terry start crying. And you were like, no, it has nothing to do with this and blah, blah, blah. And after the episode, we're like, maybe it didn't. But now I'm going back to my original theory that it had to do with all of this. Because when Bella said it feels like Italy all over again, it was sort of Italy all over again. Technically, Terry's not the one that left Bella. Simon is. And I'm not going to blame Terry for what Simon did. I am going to blame Terry for not telling Bella that how she was a part of that night. Whether it was just a phone call or whether, I mean, in some way, yes.
Was she really?
Well, does Bella know that she talked to Simon that night? And if Bella doesn't know, then yes, that's a secret. That's a lie.
All right. Now I'm going to go back to what I originally said. I said that at some point, this is your MO. This is the person you are. If he called Terry and said, hey, I want to go bang my side chick, what should I do? And she say, hey, this is her. This is what she do. Just leave her. Mm-hmm. That means this is who Bella is. Bella is the person that go places, get super high, get super drunk, and don't want to leave. And like I said, when you get a certain age, you just don't want to be there or be around that person. You be like, oh, I'm ready to go now. This music's too loud. My feet hurt. I don't feel like dancing. I can't even talk to you over this music. I can't hear anything. So at some point, it's not about Bella. I'm sorry, it's not about Terry or Simon. At some point, you just gotta look at yourself and and just think like, am I going out? Am I going too hard? If this keeps happening to me, if this feels like Italy all over again, this keeps happening to me. Why do people constantly leave me places? And the next thing is, Simon's a grown-ass man. I want to leave her to go bang my side chick. Fuck out of here. Y'all came together. What are you calling Terry for? You calling somebody else to ask what you should do. If you have to call somebody to ask what you should do, you shouldn't be doing it.
Right. Yeah, you're absolutely right. And that's why I'm still saying yes, Simon. That's probably why Simon looked so guilty that night. So we now know at least he wasn't directly involved in the rape, but he felt guilty because he did leave her. I still stick with that the fact that Terry's keeping that call from Bella, it's going to do more harm than good later on, that because eventually she's going to find out. I mean,
How?
I don't think Simon will tell her because I hate to say this, he seems like a decent dude. He seems decent right now because obviously he's like, I'm keeping away.
He's their friend.
Yeah.
He seems like their friend. But, I mean, how would she find out?
Well, eventually, I'm pretty sure she's going to break down and she's going to tell her. Because even at the party when she was like, I love you more than anything else. And like, Bella's like, yeah, of course. Your death is my death. I love that saying that they do. But Terry's hurting inside because she's she's hurting because of a few things, but she's hurting also because she knows, I feel like she feels she played a part.
Okay, I get that. Yeah, she feels that. She feels guilty because she feels like she played a part in it. But in reality, no, she didn't.
In reality, no, she didn't. But in reality, you don't keep this from a friend, and that's what she's doing. And the longer she keeps it, it's going to make something that's small.
What it is, I don't think it's something. Well, yeah, maybe if Bella heard it, she'd get upset. But that's like the smallest part of it. That's not even the biggest part of this issue.
No, because now if you go back to the day afterwards when Bella was with Terry, now think about it, and they called Simon, and Bella's trying to remember what happened last night. That was when Terry should have been like, oh my gosh, I feel so fucking bad. Simon called me and asked me, you know, could he leave you? Because when Terry was there, when Simon was like, I was with you all night. Yeah. Terry, I don't know if I said Terry, Bella, whatever. Terry was there when Bella talked to Simon. And that was her. I mean, Gary, at this point, it looks bad because she, like, if you didn't tell me that then and now you're telling me months later, you felt it was some type of way.
If that's the case, I have to go back and watch.
Yeah, with the second episode when they called
I have to see if she was right there, or
she
see
was right there.
What role that she actually played. Because yeah, if that's the role she played, she's dead wrong.
Because remember, Simon wouldn't answer Bella's phone, and then Terry called and was like, "Hi, Simon, we're calling you from my phone since you didn't answer Terry's phone." And then Terry took the phone. I mean, I'm getting the names mixed up. Terry said that, and then Bella took the phone from Terry, and she's like, "What happened last night?" Da da da. That was Terry's opportunity. Just say, you know what, I fucked up. Or even if she didn't think it was a fuck up, just say, I fucked up. I told Simon it was okay to leave you.
But she didn't fuck up.
I mean,
she didn't know what happened that night.
I know.
That's probably why she called on her phone. Like, hey, what happened?
Either way, Gary, that was when she should have said something.
I think she just need to shut the fuck up and don't ever say anything.
Anything ever again?
Never say anything about it.
All right. Well, let's move on to the party as a whole. You know, they're having the house party. We find out earlier, actually, when Terry's speaking with Simon, there's so many names to keep up with, that Bella no longer smokes. She only vapes, even though Simon, was it Simon that said, I think it's worse? Somebody earlier was like, I think it's actually worse for you. One of them said it. But studies were still early. That's what they were saying. But either way, they're having the house party. I can't recall, she's not drinking either, but there's a guy there that's definitely checking Kwame out, and Kwame's not being his usual self, because usually, you know, he goes for Egyptians, and this time he's just, you know, he's kind of chill.
Well, actually, this is him. I mean, he's not just all out there in front of everybody. He usually plays slick.
That's right. But if you think back to at the store, when he was at the store, the guy said, someone had said, like, pull down your pants and show me your ass. I'm like, is this the same grocery store? Is this the guy from the grocery store asking him that? So I don't know if he's hooked up with anyone, because usually, yeah, he might play it slick, but he was like really just not trying to talk to that guy at all.
Right.
Now, when we hear of how Kwame lost his virginity, and even Terry acknowledged that was pretty dark, and yeah, he said, yeah, it is. And maybe that's going to bring some other things to him of why I'm not trying to call Simon Kwame promiscuous or anything like that, but it just, there's so many layers to this show, and so many like of why a person is the way they are, and da-da-da. His first hookup was with someone random. And that two guys. And that generally doesn't happen. Generally, your first person is like usually someone like you care, you know, usually, not all the time. But what did you think of him telling that story of, and would you consider it like someone took advantage of him? Like were these two older guys? He didn't say their age, but.
And you know what? I don't want to assume, because he never said, and he said he has a thing for him.
Well, now, because that's why he has a thing for him, because the first guy he hooked up with was an Egyptian and I think Greek,
maybe he had already had a thing for him, Egyptians. Maybe he already had a thing for him. That's why they hooked up. I don't want to say they took advantage of him, because he didn't give us a story to say they took advantage of me.
Right.
I'm glad he said that out loud so he could hear himself. Mm-hmm. And like he said, yeah, actually that sounds dark.
Yeah. So just hoping Kwame can, now he talked to Harry. Hopefully he'll talk to Bella and just like really go back to the police station. And, because right now he doesn't seem okay. He doesn't seem like he's fine. All right. So why do you think Terry hated that Theo was there so much? Like, what is it from all that, the incident from high school, or?
Yeah, sometimes it be like that. Like, once I start fucking with you, I just don't fuck with you.
Yeah.
A lot of people are like that.
Yeah.
Like, we already know what type of person you are.
Right. I mean, even though people did, I can easily say it, to judge someone from high school, that's wrong, that's so long ago. But at the same time, I'm pretty sure I can't think of anyone, I can think of someone immediately that if I saw them now, I still wouldn't fuck with them. Because of stuff they did in high school. So I get it. In a way, I feel like, come on, move on, people grow and da-da-da. But some things you can't forgive or you can't forget. So, but the thing is, I didn't see why she was so upset because it wasn't directly towards her. It's not like, you know what I mean?
It doesn't matter.
Okay.
It was directly toward her friend.
Yeah.
That was some messed up stuff Theo did.
Yeah.
She accused this man of rape, accused her friend of rape. And then she call them monkeys after that?
Yeah. But the thing is, I know what Theo did was wrong, but part of me feels like maybe has changed as much as we'd like to believe that she has. Because when Bella confesses to her and says, I'm the one that told Mr. Hale, and she's like, I was wondering how I got caught. I'm like, what? Yeah. Like, that's when you bow your head down and go, I fucked up. I can never forgive myself for that. Like, instead of, I was wondering how I got caught was like her first words.
She didn't forgive herself. She don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
She don't care about that.
Yeah. So when she said that, I was just like, wait, what? So I was a little confused on that part. All right, now let's talk about this woke brother at the party that like really kind of breaks down what he feels is going on with Bella being a influencer for Happy Animals, which is a vegan company.
I wouldn't call him a woke brother.
Okay.
But yeah, he was talking like he was woke.
Even though he had a shirt on that said "Monkey in the Jungle." What do you take of that?
They knows it.
Okay.
I guess that's his style. But he was saying he worked hard, saved all his money up so he could buy a Mercedes. Mm-hmm. That was not too woke to me.
Yeah. So a few things that he was saying, like I kind of thought of, because you and I, we watch a lot of like YouTube videos and stuff, different stuff like that, and like house decorating videos. And we notice a lot of times these people in whatever videos they're doing, their perception of what is classy or what is sophisticated and nice is always these high-end companies that are considered sophisticated, nice, and rich, like the Chanel, the Gucci, the Versace, I don't know, whatever all these companies, the Prada and all that stuff, right? And we kind of talked about it like, dang, they never have like Black-owned companies. They're never representing like and these are Black people in these videos. They're never representing like a high-end black company. So it got me thinking even more when we were watching this episode when he was saying that, because I was like, you're giving more money. When you put money in their pockets, money equals more power for them, and it's a cycle that's continuing. So you're continuing to give that, I don't know, you're continuing to help them rather than kind of put that money back into Black pockets.
Or put the money back into your community.
Or in your community.
But, it doesn't necessarily mean that if you support, like, let's say these high-end companies or Black companies, it still doesn't guarantee that the money will go back into your community.
That is true.
That money may go, sometimes I like to see what somebody stand for before I buy anything.
Yeah.
And me, I support the smallest shop. Once I find a place, that's just my spot forever. Mm-hmm. I go there until we all know each other. But, I got to know what they stand for first.
And I agree with that. I do want to just say and make a note, and not saying this is what you do, but I do feel that sometimes that only happens when it comes to like supporting black businesses. Like, I gotta make sure they're legit. I gotta make sure this. And it's like, did you do all this background for when you supported McDonald's or supported this big white corporation? Like, did you cross your T's and dot your I's when you did that?
Yeah, you gotta know who everybody stand for. You gotta know if somebody, like, especially when you put your money into a company and they vote against your interest.
Right. But I liked what he was saying. Yeah, at the same time, I was like, damn, Bella needs the money. So I was conflicted. I was conflicted because I was like, I don't see anything wrong with this company. But then Theo sort of confirms it. Yes, I actually get paid when I bring people in. And I do get paid even more when I bring people of color, and particularly black people.
Right, because maybe they can't get black people. I don't know.
So that's their market that they're missing.
That's the market they're missing.
Okay. Now, part of it feels a little wrong, but at the same time, if like it's like us, if we're doing our podcast and we start looking to see who's listening to us, and it's only women listening to us, then we might try to say, okay, we love that women are listening to us, but we also need men to listen to us. Or we see only people over 35 are listening to us. Okay, we love that they're listening to us, but what about the younger crowd? So I don't really see a problem with marketing going after the people where you're losing that business, or where you're not getting that business.
And I can see if the message was bad, but it seemed like a positive message.
Yeah, it seemed like a positive message. So I don't, like, part of me, I was like, oh, that guy was so woke. I feel him what he was saying. But then at the same time, I was like, well, I don't know. Are you telling her to go?
Everything he said was honest and true. Everything he said. Because, when he said you can see what's wrong now, but you can't see what's wrong then. Or you try to ignore what was wrong then.
And he was saying, like, we're finally getting, like, with his Mercedes. He was like, I finally have the money now to afford a Mercedes. But now you guys been able to ride and live in luxury for years and years. And now you're saying, oh, no, Mercedes is bad. You need to get yourself a Tesla instead. And now it's like, well, it's going to take me a long time. He needs the word Tesla. But, an electronic car, now I need to save up for that to where 20 years from now, maybe I can finally afford to get that kind of car. And then it's going to be something else. So, like, I kind of got what he was saying. I guess I'm conflicted on how I feel about it.
I mean, he could have been saying that, I finally was able to afford this, and now you're saying it's not worth it.
Oh, yeah.
Now you're saying, hey, you overspent when, they're not green or whatever. You could just go ahead and get this something that costs like half the amount of that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you're right.
But you've been driving in luxury for years, and you've been enjoying it. And now you want to wake up and tell me that, it's not good enough anymore.
And then you got to be careful with what he was saying as far as, like, could it have been racist?
What's that?
Like what he was saying. He was like, who is the they he was talking about? Was he talking about just white people in general? Was he talking about the people in power? Like, because he was like, they did this for this many years, that they're exploiting you, and like this, and you should know better, and everything like that. And I don't know. I'm just thinking of the whole situation with Nick Cannon, which I'm not that familiar as far as what he said. But I just feel like you got to be careful with your words and, like, what your meaning is when you say stuff. But because
yeah, I agree.
That's all. I mean, I don't think he was racist. I think he's just someone that has just a person of color living in this world. They've seen shit.
Or you don't think he's prejudiced?
I don't think he's prejudiced.
Okay.
Well, okay. All right. So let's move to Kwame getting locked in the door, or locked in the room by Bella. So, like, the victim became a perpetrator. No, it's not funny. But, like, what did you, like, it wasn't wrong of her to lock him in there.
And this is the part I couldn't wait for.
Okay.
The thing is, it only takes a moment of goofing off and not thinking about the consequences of actions or your actions for somebody to be traumatized or something to happen.
Right.
Like, yeah, she's a victim. She knows how it feels to be a victim. But believe me, in her mind, what she did was just a honest humor. Just
There was nothing malicious behind it.
Nothing malicious.
Yeah, at the same time, it goes back to how men are treated and how women are treated. Because if that was Terry sitting in the room, and then would she have directed a guy that Terry had been eyeing just moments ago, even though Terry doesn't know him? Would she have done that to a guy if Terry and a guy was in the room? I don't think so. Because even though, yeah, I want my friend to have her fun and hook up, I'm not about to lock her in a room with a stranger she doesn't know. But she felt she could do that with Kwame and this guy.
And she felt she could do that because he's always hooking up anyway.
Yeah, because they said something earlier to him, and when they said it, I know they were like, I know they didn't mean any harm, but I forgot what they said. It was something about his hookups.
But that doesn't matter because when he hook up, he initiate his own hookups.
Right.
It's not your job to initiate. Just because you know that this is what this person does, doesn't mean that it's your job to make sure it happens.
Yeah.
What she did was dead wrong. It was dead wrong.
Yeah, it kind of reminds me of this time when I was in high school. When I was back in high school, and one of my first serious boyfriends was a white guy. And after we broke up, anytime me and my friends went out, if they saw a white guy, they'd be like, Nicole, there goes a white guy for you. It got to the point where it was weird. And it was like just randomly going up to white guys. Hi, this is my friend Nicole. It was so weird and uncomfortable. And I feel like almost that's them. Like, oh, here's a gay guy. Here's another gay guy. You guys look like you've been eyeing each other. Here you go. It was just weird.
I mean, it's like that.
You know? Or they do that even in workplaces or schools. If there's only 2 black kids, they're like, hey, you're black and she's black. Y'all should date.
I mean, in the workplace.
Yeah. They'll definitely do it in the workplace if there's only 2 of y'all.
If there's 2 of y'all, they say, oh, you know so-and-so, don't you?
Yeah.
Hey, maybe y'all should meet.
Right? If someone at work always asks me if I know so-and-so and I know the person's black, I always go, oh, no, I don't know them. Even if I do know them. Because don't be assuming I know them. I'm like, no, who are you talking about? I don't think we've met. But yeah, I know exactly who you're talking about. I just be playing it. But yeah, I was scared in this scene with Kwame and the guy because I was scared that something dangerous was going to happen. Like, I thought the guy might come up to him and just try to talk to him or something, and then Kwame freak out and push him out the window. Because I think the guy at one point was like, it's getting hot in here. Like, can we open this window? I was like, oh, no. Like, I was just so scared. Like, a murder was going to take place, an accidental murder.
Yeah, Kwame was going to trip out or just flip out.
Just flip out, yeah. So I was so glad that he didn't. And obviously he told Terry what's going on. And I think when he tells Bella, I think they all need to speak their truths.
Because like I said, what Bella did was horrible. It was wrong, but it was innocent in her head.
Right.
To her, it was innocent. They're friends. She know what he likes. So she tried to give him what he likes. Yeah. But it's not your job.
Yeah, I agree. And then finally, sorry, were you going to say something else?
Oh, I was about to say that's like you were saying, people play matchmaker. Mm-hmm. Like, you know, somebody's single, enjoying their life and stuff. Like, oh, you need somebody. Oh, you ain't been with somebody here. I'm going to find you somebody.
Right.
Nobody asked you to find me.
No one asked you.
Yeah. It's crazy.
Yeah. Well, then finally we see that Bella played the trick on the Happy Animals people. She ate some chicken, took off her wig. What did you think of this?
I mean, it's just comedy. It was comedy. I mean,
it actually got the views that they may or may not have wanted. People are going to be talking about that company's name.
Right.
Although I thought it's one thing not to like the job and not do it, or not, you don't stand for what it represents, or you feel fake by, doing that job. Even though it's like, if someone does an ad for Coca-Cola, it doesn't mean that they're going around always drinking Coca-Cola. You know what I mean? So.
Oh, no, you should be.
Why?
No, if you work for Coca-Cola, and you go into a company that don't serve Coke, only serve Pepsi, you're supposed to get up and leave.
Actually, Coke employees do that. I will verify that much. I will verify that much. But I mean, like, if a person's in a Coca-Cola commercial, and then afterwards they go home and they're like, oh, I actually really don't even drink soda. I only drink water. I'm not going to be like, that person's fake. They did an ad for Coca-Cola, and they really don't even drink Coke. They don't even drink any soda. Like, I wouldn't really see a problem with it. I mean, sometimes these skin commercials, I do think, like when it shows like the maybe it's Maybelline or whatever, and they're like, oh, look at my young skin. And I always go, I wonder if that's really the product they use, but probably not. But at the same time, would I think that it's deceiving? Not really. It's a commercial. Now, if it's an ad on their page, even then, it's just they have the word ad because it's an ad. So I felt like if she felt so strongly where I'm not going to support this company because I feel a certain way or I feel I'm being exploited, then just don't do it. Because quit. Yeah, because to me, this was bad for her reputation. Will people want to hire her again? Well, does this make her look bad, or what's the repercussions for her doing this?
Right.
I mean, I know it's supposed to be funny.
And she's doing everything but writing that book.
He's like, what book? Man, she is. She was doing everything but writing that book. And she ain't ever going to get the rest of that money. So, yeah. Well, good episode. I really enjoyed it. And hopefully we did not say anything that was offensive or anything like that. Definitely love and respect everyone. And just having those conversations about what people are feeling, what people's thoughts are, and everything like that.
We would just kick the breeze with no jive on the turkey side, on the backhand, on the black hand, my man side.
Okay, girl. Because no, I don't even. I know I used to say a lot. I told you this before. I used to be like, I do that a lot. When I'm listening to someone talk. And this one guy I worked with, when I did that, he was like, like mocking me. And I was like, I didn't even do that. Like, what are you talking about? All I said was, And he's like, All right. We have an email today from Chantel. Remember, we'd love to hear from you guys. host@theverdictsend.com. That's HOSTS @theverdictsend.com. Or even HOST @theverdictsend.com. Whatever you use, it will work, I'm sure. And we would talk about it on the podcast. So she wrote, "Hey, Gary, Nicole, it's been a few weeks. I'm so happy."
Chantel.
Yeah, hey, Chantel. "I'm so happy to have caught up. Listening to the two of you discuss the show and talk through your varying opinions is so awesome. And word on the street is that Tiffany is now watching too. This is going to be fun." Yes, shout out to Tiffany.
Awesome.
She was watching and tweeting while she was watching earlier this week or last week. So glad to hear from you as well. All right, she goes, "So you both know that Michaela Cole can do no wrong in my eyes. So, of course, I think that every episode is amazing. That said, Alliance, which was last week's episode, and Happy Animals, which is this week's episode, both of which I watched last night, were brilliant. I didn't take any notes because I was watching in the dark on my iPad. Hubby was asleep. And you two have already covered the Alliance brilliantly. So I'll just give you guys my thoughts on Happy Animals. Life comes at you fast. I love the fun opening with Bella, Terry, and Kwame laughing, loving, and celebrating. It was the perfect day. The three besties together, the vendor gave them free stuff, and then, boom, Bella's card is declined. I cringe. I can remember back in the day, right out of college, getting groceries and sweating bullets as I prayed that my mental math wouldn't betray me and that my card would go through. I also remember having to decide what items, I would need to put back so the card would actually go through. I can't imagine being someone of note and having that happen. Oh, and the girl had the unmitigated gal to ask for a selfie, and Bella went ahead and posed for it. I cackled. So before we get into more, yes, I do remember that too. Like, I would count my stuff in the grocery cart. Like, that was like $3.50. That was $2. Because what I never wanted to do is I never wanted to have more stuff where I had to put stuff back. That's just as embarrassing as your card declining, in my opinion. Like, hey, let me put this back. Let me take off the piece. Go on and take off that bread. I don't need it. Like, so I always just count my stuff in the cart. Okay, and I'm like, and then I would come under because I'll overcount. Like, if it's $3.50, I'm just going to count it as $4 with tax. That was $2 and we counted as $3. So yes, girl, that was.
I remember my mother used to do that, and she used to use me to put it. While we stayed there, she's like, "Oh, that's too. Oh, I thought that was so and so. Hey, Gary, go ahead and put that back. Gary, take that back."
Oh no. Cringe. Yeah.
Don't use me like this.
Right. Don't embarrass me. Which is so funny that we say embarrassed. And it's like, who are you being embarrassed by? Like, you'll never see these people again. Go to a different grocery store next week. We're humans. And no matter how much we say we don't care what people think, you still in some way care what people think. It's still embarrassing. So, all right. And she goes, the first time Bella met Susie, I was so charmed by her reaction. We have all had that moment when we see another person of color in charge. The knowing smile, the warmth in your heart. And if it's a sister, that introductory handshake hits different. The feeling is real. Mm-hmm. Now, when Miss Bella tried to go directly to Susie to ask for more money, when she hadn't held up her end of the bargain, I was disappointed in her. Yes, she has suffered a major trauma, and she is well within her right to ask for some concessions. But she wasn't going to make her deadline before she was raped. I felt like she was trying to be slick and take advantage of their sister connection. Do you guys think she would have gone to her if Susie had been any other race?
No.
Nope, that's what I was trying to say. And Chantel says it so beautifully. Yeah, no, that's why I cringed. I was like, no, don't try to take. I mean, not even like you known Susie for years and like, girl, can I get a hookup or something? Or can you loan me $10 or whatever? This was a lady you've met like once or twice at best. She's high in the company. She's not going to risk her job, her reputation, her contracts on the line. No, it was unprofessional. And Bella needs to learn to become a little bit more professional. She's running late to meetings, everything like that.
She needs to become a little more responsible.
You're right. All right. She goes, the token. Happy Animals is one of those companies that seriously makes me roll my eyes. And the CEO guy was super awkward and creepy. I thought something was up when Theo hooked Bella up with the job. I figured they knew who she was and what her influence was. But I didn't immediately think about the angle. She was their token. From her explanation at Terry's party, she understood why she was there and seemed okay with using them for money while they used her for influence in the Black millennial community. But does that make the tokenism okay? What did you guys think about it? How did it make you feel once you realized what was happening?
I didn't have a problem with it. Like I said, it was a pay for service.
Yeah.
And I can understand if the message they were putting out there was just straight garbage, trash.
Right.
But the message to, eat healthy, vegetables are good, we need to save the planet. Yeah, she's the token black person, but I mean the message wasn't all that bad.
Yeah. And maybe that's why I didn't have a problem with it, because of the message. Who knows if they were,
It is a fried chicken company.
Yeah, it was like the Popeyes commercial that I don't think they play any longer, because the lady that, they're like, she's not even the lady behind. But I was like, no, did anyone think she was? She was in a commercial. But some people was like, that was sort of some type of exploitation. It all depends. I mean, all these commercials all the time that we see, they play to their market, if they might have a black family, if they think they're going to be showing more in black households, they might have a Hispanic family, white family, vice versa. It goes on and on. So I guess I didn't really see it as being exploitive, or maybe it's just I'm so used to companies marketing, and maybe I don't look at it as exploitation. I look at it as like, oh, they're marketing to their crowd.
Yeah. Like when you watch BET, you see all these loan companies.
Yeah.
What's it called? Payday loan. Payday loans.
Which is so funny. If you guys watched Atlanta, and we did season 1 of Atlanta, and I believe this was on season 1 when they had all those black commercials when they did that BET, and it was so funny and it was so real, because sometimes if I'm watching a station, I'm like, what the heck am I watching? Because I'm like, these commercials, I've never seen these commercials, and then I realize I'm on like a quote unquote predominantly like black station or whatever, and I'm like, oh, they're playing these commercials. I kind of feel a certain way, but then I'm like, well, obviously they're getting something out of it. If these commercials are working, they're working for them or whatever. So
right. But I feel some type of way when I hear the same commercial. It's like the same company, but the commercial is different on another station. And I'm talking radio.
Yeah.
When it's on we're in Atlanta, V103. If it's on there, the car insurance commercial, they're rapping and stuff, rapping it out, rapping the number and everything. And then when you hear it on another station, it's, they just say, yeah, you need insurance? Call this number.
Right.
Well, get the fuck out of here.
A podcast I was listening to was just talking about that the other day, because I think they were saying they don't fuck with McDonald's anymore because they're like, McDonald's has those like raps in their commercials, which I don't even I'm not sure I know what they're talking about, but what's that famous? Isn't that Teddy got a job or whatever?
Calvin got a job. That was McDonald's.
That's a famous McDonald's commercial.
What? I wonder, did that commercial come on every station, or did it come on every time, or did it just come on like on what was it, TGIF or something?
Yeah.
When you watch the Family Matters or stuff like that.
Yeah, so I don't know. It's interesting in a way, like, yes, exploitation.
I'm about to ask one of my white friends. Do they know who Calvin is?
In a way, it's exploitation, but at the same time, that's what marketing is all about. Like, you're marketing to the people the demographic that you think is going to buy your product. So, I don't know. In a way, I don't know. You know, during Christmas time, all the kids' commercials, that's all kids' cartoons. That's all they show is toys and stuff.
Yeah.
So... All right, she moves on to the Terry Simon secret. What? So Simon called Terry that night to ask what he should do about Bella. Side note to Simon, you shouldn't have had to call anyone to ask what you should do. Forget about your side chick and take care of your fucking friend. Duh.
Right.
That's what Gary said. Now Terry feels guilty, which is what I think fueled her impassioned birthday speech to Bella. Yeah, Chantel, you know me and you. We're always in sync. All right. A lot of her actions make more sense to me now. Remember how she cried in Bella's room? I still think those were tears of sadness for her friend, but they were also tears of guilt. The truth has to come out at some point, and I don't think it will go well.
I hope it never comes out.
I hope it comes out. Even though I hate, like on shows, which every show has it, when there's always that secret. Because it's like every time a show is a secret, you know it's only a matter of time. Like, is it going to come out this season? Is it going to come out next season? And since this is like a mini series, I guess it has to come out this season. And I just hate secrets on, like, when it comes to TV shows. Because I feel like in real life, you can keep a secret longer. But on TV shows, the secret always comes out. Always. You know what I mean?
Right.
In real life, how many secrets you got right now, Carrie? Why don't you tell us one of them?
I have none.
No I just secrets. Feel like you can keep secrets better in real life. You don't tell the secret and then all, like, 2 months later, someone, I mean, you know, there's some things you can't hide, but yeah. All right. Terry's party. Off the chain. I would have loved to have been a guest. Terry was wearing that outfit, 2 snaps in a circle, that is all. Yes, she was. The whole time I kept staring at her. I was like, she is wearing the outfit. And then she had like a little orange bangle on too. She looked really nice. It was a really, really cute outfit. And they looked like they were having a good time. And I like house parties because it's less people. And just for some reason, I always feel like house parties are safer. Even I guess that's not always the case. But like, I feel like it's safer because you usually know everyone there, or you know the person that knows the person. It's not just random people at a bar that you've never seen and will never see again. So I just always feel a little more safe at a house party. Kwame. This actor is something else. Think about it. He didn't say too much at all this episode, but his eyes, his face, I was so sad for him. I wanted to give him a hug. Yeah. And I was so sad he wasn't in the mood to get up on that guy at the party. Because, yes, I know. When that guy, I didn't know he was gay. And then as soon as he started talking to Kwame and asking Kwame more questions, I was like, oh, he's gay. I'm like, he's a nice looking guy. And then even Kwame said he was his type, but he wasn't feeling, he's not there yet. Now that he has told Terry about his assault, I really hope we get to see his journey toward healing.
Yeah, hopefully. Hopefully they stand together and go back to the police station, or just, even if it don't go, backwards, or he don't want to do that anymore, hopefully they stand with him.
Yeah.
And, they all heal together. That's why I said Terry's secret cannot come out. It can't come out.
Because then it'll break up the friendship. You think Bella won't forgive her?
Yeah.
Well, then that means you admit that Terry did something wrong.
No.
Then why wouldn't Bella forgive her?
Just because somebody don't forgive you for something don't necessarily mean what you did was the worst thing in the world. Right now, Bella's hurting, and sometimes when you're hurting, sometimes you don't, like I've been saying, sometimes you don't ever step back and look at your actions. Mm-hmm. You have to find people to point it at, like, oh, you left me here, you did this. But when are you going to say that I was on like 7 different drugs? I was on 7 different drugs. I was drinking. Yeah, what everybody did was wrong, but the part you played was bigger than anybody's.
Yeah.
But I don't think she's going to forgive her because, like I said, you got to find that person to blame it on.
All right. And then the last thing she has here is not so happy animals. Not so happy animals. Oh my God, you guys, when Bella took off that wig and ate the chicken on Facebook Live, that took me out. Bella always finds a way to set things right. This action makes me believe that she's going to figure out who assaulted her, and Lord be with him, because she is going to take him down in epic fashion. P.S. I wonder if Happy Animals paid Bella for the Facebook Live event. LOL. And then she says, okay, that's all I can think of off the top of my head, and I feel like this is way too long. Nope, you're good. She said, you're a bright spot in these hot mess times, and we appreciate you. Take care, Chantel. Thank you, Chantel. Yeah, I mean, I wasn't really feeling the Hot Animals Facebook Live, whatever that was, and it would be worse if they paid her, and hopefully she didn't sign anything that would end up making her have to give the rest of her book signing money to them for, doing something like this. Right. So we'll see. Hopefully there's no money or anything, like any type of repercussions that way as far as her doing this. But at the same time, I mean, they got a lot of, when all this hate from a company, not saying they were getting hate, but all of this, anytime someone protests something, there's going to be someone that, what's the other word? They de-protest that protest or whatever. You know what I mean? We're boycotting this. You're boycotting it? No, let's all go. We're going to support it. So like either way, I think this is going to help their business in any way, shape or form, Definitely. But hopefully there's no like financial repercussions for her.
So they said there's no such thing as bad promotion.
There's no such thing as bad publicity. Yeah, I mean, in some ways, shape or form, I mean, someone's gonna like it.
Like you said, when people say we're not gonna eat this no more because they make these too big, and somebody, oh, they're perfect. Everybody, let's go out and get it, because there's always a big group that go against the grain.
Yeah, well, I was thinking more recently the Goya stuff. Everyone's saying like we're not supporting Goya, and then you see like political people in power saying like support Goya, and then their supporters are going to support it. So I don't know, who knows what Goya sales are going to look like next quarter. Like they're like, yeah, we did lose this market, but at the same time, the hate from this small market gained us love from this bigger market. So who knows what's going to end up happening.
It's only temporary.
Yeah. Or it could be temporary because people literally forget about stuff like in a heartbeat. So
No. What I mean is temporary is that usually when people go against the grain and they start supporting it, that they take up for the sales right then and there.
Oh, yeah.
But really, they don't really mess with it anyway.
Yeah.
They don't mess with it like that anyway. So they're going to eventually dwindle off, and the company's going to lose. Yeah,
so it depends on if the people that they upset, are they going to keep that energy and not continue to support that business? And then the people that are like, hey, we'll support you instead, are they going to keep that energy and like continue buying that product? So
Nope.
Yeah. Nope. Next quarter 3, we'll see. We'll see at the end of quarter 3.
Nobody continues supporting stuff that long.
Yeah, unless they're a real supporter.
They're real supporters.
Yeah.
And usually the people who just... Well, you know what? I hate a pissed off person that don't want to support something that never supported it.
What do you mean?
Like people who try to boycott shit that they never bought anyway.
Oh, yeah.
Like you never really supported it, but you want to, I don't like that kind of supporter. I like real supporters. Like real supporters or people that used to be real supporters. Mm-hmm. And that way it'll make a difference. Because if you really didn't support something to begin with and you stopped buying it, you never bought it to begin with.
Yep.
You was never their market.
And see, goes back to market. Is it exploitation? Is it not? Blah, blah, blah. So, all right, you guys, I believe that is all we have. We would love to hear from you. So hit us up via email, host@theverdictsin.com, or on Twitter @theverdictsin, or even facebook.com/verdictsin. Until next week, I'm Nicole.
I'm Gary.
Bye.